Hello guys, welcome to another Mega Lab video, and in this video we are going to configure zone-based firewalls NMP version 3, IPsec, port security, DHCP snooping, dynamic ARP inspection, TACAC, secure boot, SSH, FTP, and HTTP. So we are going to do a bunch of stuff. As you can see right here, we're going to have an IPsec tunnel. This one is going to have the zone-based firewall, and that zone-based firewall is going to take us a while to configure. And the first thing that I want to configure is actually the zone-based firewall, and also we are going to have some DHCP server running on this PA router. And I have configured all the interfaces, and I also configured static IP address. I did not configure any dynamic IP routing. So let's go ahead and start with this. And let's go ahead into the PA. As you can see, I have configured the static route. I was just verifying that it was working. So from here, we gotta go to config T. And what I want to configure over here, I want to configure um, the first thing. Let's go ahead and do, let me move this over here, make this on the other screen. So I can, every time I have a, every time I configure something, I'm going to put a timestamp. So I have to write down the time. So let's go ahead and do DHCP first. So if we go to IP, DHCP, we're going to exclude some IP addresses. And the first one is 172.16.1.1 and 172.16.1.2, which are going to be used or are being used for Gigabit 00. And also the switch is going to be using Gigabit on Gigabit 00. It's going to be using 172.16.1.2. So that is done. Then we want to do IP, DHCP. We are going to call this pool. We are going to just call it inside. The network is going to be 172.16.1.0, and the default router 172.16.1.1. And if you want to do a DNS server, you can also add that. Let's just add Google like always. Let's go ahead and exit out of here. And now I want to bring this switch. And from this switch, now we are going to configure dynamic ARP inspection, and also you're going to configure DHCP snooping and all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and double click on it. It's not, oh, triple click on it. Still not there. Why is it in a console? There we go. There it is. Switch one. Config T. Let's give it a host name first of switch one. IP DHCP snooping for globally IP um, dynamic or ARP inspection. That's what it's called. We're going to inspect VLAN 1. And now let's go into interface gigabit 0 slash, let's see, 0 slash 0 all the way to 3, gigabit 0 slash 0, or gigabit 1 to 0 all the way to 3, gigabit 2 to 0 all the way to 3, gigabit 3 to 0 all the way to 3, and this is going to be an interface range. And from these ranges, you want to just do, first, let's do a switch port mode access, switch port access to VLAN 1. And then we are going to do switch port non-negotiate. Okay, and let's just do shut them down, all of them. And we are only going to do a no shutdown for the interfaces that we actually want to configure. So if you go to interface range and you want to do a gigabit 0 all the way to 3, those are the ones that we are going to be using. And you do a no shutdown. Let's just do a switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 1, switch port non-negotiate. Oops, actually, we need to do it for 00 all the way to 03. There we go. So now it should be working. Now mode access, VLAN 1, no negotiate. And then from over here, what we want to do is we want to do a IP DHCP snooping. We're going to trust it, IP ARP inspection. Um, Also trust it. That's good. Let's see what else we can do now. For if we go to interface gigabit um, 01 all the way to 3, we got to do range. So from over here, we're going to do switch ports, port security. You're going to enable that, then switch port security. You want to do a maximum of IP interfaces allow. I just want to do one. Switch port security, violation. I want to just do it. I don't want to shut them down, so let's just do a restrict. And that should be also switch port security, MAC. It's a MAC address or yeah, MAC address. And we're just going to do sticky and then exit. And let's save it. So that is done with DHCP servers. So let's go ahead and from these three computers over here, we are going to get an IP from DHCP server. And it's not working because I forgot to from the switch, and you need to go to config T, interface VLAN 1. You're going to give an IP address of 172.16.1.2. Now shut down. Let's try it again. Still not working. Let's just do a do show IP interface brief. See what's going on over here. So we see that, yeah, I forgot to, these three interfaces are down. So if we do a IP range, we want to go to 0/0 all the way to 3, just do no shutdown to do a no shutdown. So after they come back up, let's do IP DHCP over here. Still not getting an IP address. Do show IP interface brief. Let's see what's up with this. They are up and running. And let's show VLAN. So on gigabit 1, so they are on gigabit 1, so that's good. So why isn't the IP DHCP server not working? There we go. So now we are able to get that IP address. It just took a little bit. IP DHCP, IP DHCP. And as you can see, we got an IP address 172.16.1.3, then 172.16.1.4, 172.16.1.5. So that is great. So we are done with the DHCP server and all that good stuff, and also the switch. So now we got to go into the PA router, and from here we are going to configure um, zone-based firewalling. So we are going to turn this firewall into, we are going to turn this router into a firewall with zone-based firewall. So this is going to take a little bit, but let's go ahead and do it. The first thing that you want to do is that, let's see, we want to create a class maps. So we have to create, let's see, from inside to outside, from inside to DMZ, and from inside to IPsec. So 1, 2, 3 class maps. So let's go ahead and create the first class map. And this one is going to be a type, inspect. You're going to be do a match any, and this one is going to be my in, and it's going to go to out, and from it, and then you want to do a match, and we want to match ICMP or match protocol ICMP. We want to allow ICMP match protocol. What else we want to match? We want to match nothing else. So the only traffic that we're going to allow from the inside to the outside is going to be ICMP. So then we are going to go to my into DMZ, and this one is going to match protocol ICMP. Let's see what else we need to match. Can we match? Do we need to enable IPsec from here so we can allow IPsec? We might need to enable the ICE camp right here. So let's go ahead and do that. ICE ISACamp. There we go. So we're going to match ISACamp. Let's see if we need to do anything else. Um, that looks good. So we're going to allow ISACamp from inside to DMZ. So now we need to create another one, and it's going to be into out. And we want to match the protocol, and the protocol that we want to match from over here is going to be ICMP as well. So we want to enable pings to go in and out of the inside to the outside over here. Okay, so that is done. So what I want to do is I want to bring off leaf pad, and from leaf pad I want to create, I just want to copy right here this one, copy and paste it, and we also want to my into out. Did I do my into out already twice? I think I did my into out. I did it twice. My into DMZ zone. So we want to do is we want to configure another one, and it's going to be called my in to in, or my into IPsec. Let's just call it like that. Because my into, what was the one that I configured right here? To DMZ. So to DMZ, you don't want to do the ice camp. It's my, you want to do a match protocol, and it's going to be ISACamp and also ICMP. So now let's go ahead and then go back to the DMZ one, and from the DMZ, you want to do no match protocol ISACamp. There we go. That's good. So after we do that, what we need to do is we need to configure some policies so we can match it um, with those class maps. So let's create and do policy map. And the first one that I want to do is policy map type inspect, and we're going to inspect, and we are going to call the first one policy, and this one is going to be in into out. So this one is going to be for, let's go ahead and just copy this. For my into out, it's going to have this policy map. And what we need to add right here, we need to add that class map. So we do class type, and then after class type, we need to do inspect, and the one that we want to inspect is going to be my into out class map, right? So we have done this. We also want to just want to copy and paste it over here to make sure that I'm doing this right. And then we want to do inspect. That's good. So let's go ahead and put inspect over here. That's good. So now we need to create another class map, and this one is going to be my policy into DMZ, and we need to add that class type inspect, and it's going to be called my in, or that we call already to DMZ, and we're going to do is an inspect. There it is, and let's go ahead and copy this policy to make sure that I know which one I'm doing. And now let's go ahead and do the IPsec one. And this one is going to be called policy into IPsec. And we're going to do the class type inspect, and it's going to be my into IPsec. Great. So we can go ahead and copy this policy. And I'm doing that so I can see which one I have done, and I can keep track of all of them. And another thing, we want to do inspect at the end. Inspect. Okay. So that is done. So after we configure that, we need to now we need to create some zone security. And the way that you do that, let's go ahead and exit out of here. You want to do a zone security, not for the Z, so security, security, and the first one is going to be DMZ, DMZ, and the other one is going to be inside, and the other one is going to be IPsec. So we're going to have three zones. So let's go ahead and copy this right here for the inside, and we do another one which is IPsec, and we did another one which is DMZ, and we have to do another one which is going to be called outside. Oops, or let's just do a no for this one because I want to call it outside. There we go. So we can put over here as outside. Okay, so that is done. After we do that, we need to create the zone pair, and this one is going to specify the zones and the direction from where to where. So this is where it's going to get tricky, and that's why I have this leaf pad over here. So the first zone that I want to do is I want to go in from the inside to the outside. So we need to do a zone pair, and we're going to do a zone pair security, and this one is going to be called in to outside, and the source is going to be the inside, and the destination is going to be outside. And then we need to create another one, and this one is going to be called into DMZ. The source is going to stay the same inside, and the destination is going to be the DMZ zone that we created. And then after that, we need to create another one, which is going to be to IPsec, inside to IPsec, and we're going to call this into IPsec. There we go. So we have created those three. So from inside to outside, let's go ahead and copy this zone pairs right here. This one goes over here. This one goes to IPsec, and it is called IPsec. And then we did another one, which was for the DMZ, and we call this into DMZ. And I forgot to do something inside of each one of them. So what we want to do is first let's start with the first one that we created, which was source inside and destination outside. And from here, we need to do the service policy that we need to match, which is a type inspect. And we want to inspect the policy map that we created for um, for inside to outside, which was um, let's see the policy map, which was this one. Paste that right here. And then we want to do the one for DMZ, right? And we want to do a service policy type inspect, and the policy that we want to inspect for DMZ source, eh, for the source inside and destination DMZ, is going to be this one right here, the policy in to DMZ. And then the other one, which is the IPsec, this one right here. For this one, service policy type inspect, and the one for this one is this policy right here, policy in to IPsec. Let's see if that works. There we go. So now we can just go ahead and copy this one right here. This one is for the IPsec. This one is for the into DMZ. Oops, copy, which is this one right here. Let's go ahead and make sure that is right. Let's see, remove that. Okay, and then the first one that we did, which was this one, paste. Let's do some space. There we go. So now we're good. So after we do that, let's go ahead and just exit out of here. So now after we do that, what you want to do is you want to um, name the zones that we have created. So for the PA router, which is turning into a firewall, what you want to do is now you want to name the zones. And the first one is interface gigabit 00. And this one is going to belong to the zone member security. It's going to be inside. And for gigabit 01, it's going to be the DMZ. And for gigabit 02, it's going to be IPsec. And for gigabit 03, it's going to be outside. There we go, outside. So that is great. So this should be working now. And let's see if we are able from PC1. We should be able to ping 30, that one, that one, that one, that 30, that one, that one, that two, which is this New York City router. And as you can see right now, it is timing out for some reason. And what we could do is we could do some, if we go to the PA router, let's go and end it. Let's go ahead and do some troubleshooting, which is my favorite thing to do, right? So inside pool, good. Let's go ahead and see if we are matching ICMP for inside to out. Match protocol ICMP. Inspect. So we are inspecting. And it's inspecting over here too. So zone into out. Destination outside, into out, policy inspect. There's the inside. Gigabit 03 should be the outside. and it is the outside. So let's see if we can do, mm, how can we see if it is working or not? It is saying that it is timing out. Let's see if we're able to ping 192.168.1.1. We're able to do that. Let's see that 1.2. We're able to do that. Are we able to ping the IPsec one? We're able to do that. Are we able to ping 10.10.20.1? And what about 10.10.20.2? We're able to do that, but we're not able to ping 30.1.1.2. Interesting. Let's go ahead and go into the PA router. Let's show IP route. And from, yeah, we have it right here, 30.1.1.1. Let's see from the New York, which is this one, show IP route. And we don't have one for the 172 route, so we need to go config T, IP route 172.16.1.0. You just need to add a static route, and then we should be able to ping because everything it looks good. There we go. So now we are able to ping. So that is great. So it is working. Okay, and since that is working, the next thing that we want to configure is going to be IPsec. So let's go ahead and do that. IPsec, and um, it's going to be between this New Jersey and PA. Okay, so let's go ahead and configure that. And for us to be able to do that, we need to first create an access list. So let's go ahead into the PA, config T. Let's go ahead and create an IP access list. It's going to be extended, and we're going to call this to New Jersey, and we want to permit the source first. So permit IP source, which is this one, wildcard mask. Because on one of the videos I did not put a wildcard mask, and it was all messed up. And the destination, which is 10.10.20.0, wildcard mask. There we go. Exit. So after we do that, we need to create a crypto IPsec transform set. Crypto IPsec transform set, and we're going to call this strong. Like I always do, we're going to do ESB SHA, and we're also going to do HMAC and then ESB AES 256, and the mode is going to be tunnel mode. And after we do that, we need to go ahead and create a map, a crypto map, and this map is going to be called PA to New Jersey. And then we need to do one, and then IPsec, ISCamp. And from here, we need to set the peer IP address, which is 10.10.10.2. And then we need to set the, what else do we need to set? We need to set the transform set, which was set to strong. And then the match address, which is the access list, which we call to New Jersey, I believe. Let's verify. Yes, it is. Good. Exit. So after we do that, we need to go ahead and create a crypto um, ISACamp key. It's the ISACamp key. Let's see if I remember. Yep, ISACamp key. And then we are going to name this Cisco 123. And then we want to do the address, which is 10.10.10.2, which is the peer IP address. 10.10.10.2. So that is great. After we do that, the key, then we need to go ahead and create a policy. So crypto ISACamp policy, we're going to use policy one. Authentication is going to be a pre-share key. Um, encryption is going to be AES 256. Group number, Diffie-Hellman is going to be 2. The hash is going to be SHA, and then the lifetime is going to be the maximum, which is 86400. Done. Exit. Now you want to go to interface gigabit server/2, which is the one going to the New Jersey router. And from over here, you want to do a crypto map, and you want to add that map. And it was PA2, we created was PA2 New Jersey. Okay, so now ISACamp is on. So then after that is configure from the PA router, you want to go to the New Jersey one, and you want to do basically the same thing. So let's go ahead and first create an IP access list, and this one is going to be extended. This one is going to be called to PA, and we're going to permit IP the source, which is this is the source wildcard mask, and then the destination 172.16.1.0 wildcard mask. Exit. After we do that, we need to create a crypto IPsec transform set. We're going to call this strong. ESP is going to be using SHA with HMAC, and then ESP AES 256, and the tonal or the mode is going to be tonal. After we do that, we need to go ahead and just exit and do a crypto map, and the crypto map that we're going to configure is going to be called New Jersey to PA, right? So New Jersey is going to be called New Jersey to PM. The sequence number is going to be 1 IPsec ISCamp. From over here, we need to set the PRP address, which is 10.10.10.1. There we go. And we need to set the transform set, which was set to strong. And then the match, we want to match the address, and we need to match the extended access list, which was set to 2PA. Exit. Then we want to do a crypto ISACamp key Cisco 123, and then the address, which is 10.10.10.1, and then the crypto policy or crypto ISACamp policy. 1. Authentication needs to be all the same. Pre-short key, encryption, AES 256. DFE home and group number needs to match. 2. Hash, which is SHA. And then we need to do lifetime, which is the maximum, 864. So that looks good. I believe we are done. Let me see authentication, encryption, group, um, hash, and lifetime. Good. Then we go to gigabit interface 0. We do a crypto map, and the crypto map that we did was in New Jersey to PA. Exit. End it. Let's go ahead and just save it. And if you want to see that it is working, you can do a crypto. It's ISAC crypto IPsec. Where is it? Crypto. That's all we have. Crypto, blah, blah, key, PKI, EAP. I think it was crypto IPsec SA, but we don't have anything. We can just do a debug then crypto, and I have it somewhere right here. So crypto engine. Actually, this is show crypto, show crypto, and there we go. Okay, so I was doing it wrong. That's what it was. Crypto ISACamp SA, nothing there. Crypto IPsec SA, and it looks like it is good. So now let's go ahead and send some packet to 10.10.20.2 and let's see what happens. Timeout, and there we go. So now it is working. And if we go to the Jersey router, not the Jersey router, and if you do this one again, you can see that the packets are being encrypted and then decrypted. So that means that it is working. And if we do a ISACamp SA, you can see that it is actually working and it is active. So that is great at 10.10.1.10.10.10.1, which is the source, destination 10.10.10.2. So it is working great, and you can do also debug crypto, ISACamp. Um, you can just do this one, and if you do this, you're going to see that the traffic coming in. No, let's go ahead and do crypto, debug crypto. Let me see, debug crypto engine packet is on. So if we do and send this now, you're going to see over here that the packet is being encrypted with IPsec using AES encryption, and also we are using SHA to verify the integrity so that it's working good. And if we go into IPsec SA, you can see that we have sent 14 packets that has been encrypted and 14 has been decrypted. And you can see that nothing has failed. So IPsec is working the way we wanted it. So this is great, guys. And let's see what else we could do. So now let's go ahead and configure. We want to configure now. Let's keep moving on. So we configure ZBF, IPsec, ProSecurity, DHCP, DAI, the secure boot. We have not done that. So let's go ahead and do that. Config T secure boot image, and then secure boot config. So that's so we can configure the image and also the configuration. So paste it right here, secure the configuration so nobody can delete it, and also do the image. So we did it for here. Let's do it for the PA as well. Secure boot config and secure image. That means that if somebody goes into your router, they won't be able to remove the image. So they won't be able to delete the image, and they won't be able to remove the boot image, the configuration either. So that is good. Let's see if we're able to do it from the switch as well. Enable config T. Okay, so that doesn't work for a switch. Let's do secure. It doesn't recognize it. Okay, that's fine. So we have done secure boot. Now let's go ahead and do, let's see what we want to do. Okay, so this looks good right here. So let's go ahead and configure TACACS from this PA router, or which turned into a firewall. And the way that we could actually do that, first let's go ahead and configure SNMP um, from the New York router. So let's go ahead and the first thing that you want to do is SNMP server. So we want to configure SNMP server, and we want to create a view which is going to be called all, and we're going to include ISO included. So now SNMP server, and the server that you want to do, let's see, SNMP server, and now you want to do a group. and this group is going to be called monitor. We're going to do version SNMP version 3. We're going to do privilege, and that's it. And then SNMP server, and this is a long command. The username that we want to use is going to be called Asker, and the group that we're going to be using is going to be monitor. We're going to use version 3 authentication. We're going to use SHA, CCNA, or let's just put Cisco 123 for the SHA, and then the private is going to be AES 256, and it's going to be Cisco 123 as well. So now let's go ahead and go into our Windows device, and let's verify this IP address. And this Windows device is right here next to the New York City router, which we configure the SNMP router or the SNMP server. So let's go ahead and go over here and see, verify the IP address. The IP address looks good. Let's go ahead and do CMD ping 192.168.2.1, which is the IP address of the New York right here. So you can see it is working. So since that is working, let's go ahead and use that SNMP manager that I'm going to be using. And I want to remove these agents that I did on another video, and I want to add a new one. And this one is going to be a new agent, and the address is 192.168.1.2 or that 2.1. We're going to do version 3. The username that we configure was Asker. The dedication password was Cisco 123, and Cisco 123 for this one too. We were using SHA, but for this one we're not using triple we're using AES 256. And as you can see, it is working. You can see the name, um, New York City, NYC, and the software that is using, Cisco iOS software, iOS V software. So good. So SNMP, we are done with SNMP. So the next thing that we want to configure now, and the last thing that we're going to configure probably is going to be the TACACS server. So since we're going to configure the TACACS server, I want to configure right here from the PA router, because if we do it, let's see, because we did not configure DMZ to outside or anything like that. So let's just go ahead and stay local. So we don't need to, so it can work. And also let's see if we are able to get into this server as well. So if we put this down, since we're done with SNMP, let's go ahead to this website, which is 10.10.20.2. Let's see if we are able to reach this website. I don't think we are going to be able to reach. Yeah, we're not able to get into this. Let's see if we are able to do a CMD ping 10.10.20.2. Request timeout. So it is timing out. So one thing that we could do, let's go ahead and see if we can do that actually. Um, let's see if we can, what we need to do is, let's go and bring my notepad. We need to configure a class type, and then we need to configure policy, and then we need to configure the zone pair and all of that. So this one, let's go ahead to config, not from the New York, it's going to be from the PA. So from here, we need to create a class map, type inspect, and we need to match any. This one is going to be my out to IPsec, and we are going to match protocol HTTP, and we're going to match protocol um, ICMP. So now let's go ahead and create a policy map. So it's going to be policy map type inspect, and we want to inspect match any, and this one is going to be, or not match any. We need to do a policy map type inspect, and then we go call the policy, which is policy out to, let's just put it on cap, out to IPsec. Let's go ahead and just exit out of here. Policy map, okay, policy map needs to be like this. Great, so now we need to add the class type inspect, and then we need to add this new class map that we created, which is my IPsec paste. So that is done, and from here we just need to do inspect. So that is great. Let's see what else we need to do. We need to create a zone pair. So let's go ahead and exit. We need to create a new zone pair, or if we just exit out of here, zone pair, and the zone pair is going to be in or out to IPsec. That's what we're going to call it. Um, let's see, zone pair security. Security out to IPsec. And after we do that, we need to call the source, which is going to be outside, and destination is going to be DMZ, or actually IPsec. And then after we do that, we need to do the service policy type inspect, and we need to call the policy that we created over here. And the policy, where is the policy that we created? This one right here. Hmm. Did I exit out of it? Oops, I exit out of it. Let's go to PA back again. Zone pair, service, policy, type inspect. We want to inspect this policy. Okay, so after we do that, let's see what else we need to do. I think it looks good, I believe. So after we create the zone pair, what we need to do is let's go into the Windows device. Let's see if we're able to pin. There we go. So now we're able to pin since I created that policy, and I told it to match ICMP. So ICMP is working, and now I also told it to do HTTP, and there we go. So now we're able to access this website over here as well. So we created just another zone pair from the outside to the IPsec, and it worked perfectly. So that is great, guys, really good. So now what we could do is from this, if we do it from this New York City, we're going to have to create another zone pair to the outside into the DMZ. So let's just go ahead and keep it locally. Um, so let's go ahead and exit, and let's go ahead and do TACAX from the PA router. And for us to configure that, the first thing that you need to do, let's just create a username. It's going to be Asker, so I'm going to call it, and then the password is going to be Cisco123, and privilege level is going to, actually privilege level is going to be after the password. Privilege 15. Here we go. Okay, so after we do that, we're going to configure a AAA new model. Then after that, we need to do a TechX server. And this TechX server, we're going to just call this TAC, and it has an IP address of 192.168.1.2. IPv4, okay, and then we need to set up a key, which is going to be Cisco 123, and then we can go ahead and exit out of here. We can do a AAA authentication, AAA authentication, and we're going to use it for login, and we're going to use the default group is going to be TACACS, and the backup is going to be local. Exit. Let's go ahead and save it. Okay, that's great. So now let's go ahead into config T, and we're going to have to create another class map, to be honest with you, because we have to, the way that we can configure the TACACS server needs to be from this Windows device. So let's go ahead and create a new policy, um, or a new class map and all that. So the first thing that we got to do, let's go ahead and bring up the pad, and this class map is going to be called, if we paste this right here, it's going to be called my out to DMZ, and it's going to match ICMP or match protocol ICMP, and also we need to match um, protocol HTTP. That's great. So after we do that, let's go ahead and create a policy map, and this policy map is going to be policy and out to the DMZ. Done. And after we do that, we need to do after we do that, now we need to call this one here, class type inspect, copy, inspect, and we want to inspect the class map. So we need to call the class map over here, and then we do inspect. Okay, after that is configured, we have done this. Now we need to go ahead and create a zone pair, and the zone pair is going to have we're going to call it out to DMZ. The source is going to be, let's see, zone pair security out to DMZ. Why is it not taking it? Oh, let's go ahead and just exit out of here and call, let's go ahead and paste it over here again. And we're going to call this out to DMZ, and then the source is going to be, why is it not working? Huh, okay, let's just go ahead and do a exit out of here and do a zone pair, stop being lazy, zone pair security out to DMZ. And then we need to call the source, which is going to be the outside, and the destination, which is going to be the DMZ. And then after we do that, we need to do a service policy type inspect. And from over here, we need to call this policy that we have configured, which is policy out to DMZ. There we go. So the end it. Now let's go ahead into this Windows device, and we should be able to now ping 192.168.1.2. Great, we're able to do that because we matched the ICMP, and now we should be able to go into the website because we also match HTTP. Waiting for response. Cannot reach 192.168. Let's try it again. So I'm able to ping Did I do? Let's do a show run. Verify that it is matching HTTP. Match out to DMZ protocol, ICMP protocol, HTTP as well. But we cannot get, we're not able to get into this TACACS server. So let's go ahead and go into the TACACS server and try to ping 30.1.1.2. And we're not able to do that. Let's go ahead and go into this, um, into the PA router. And from this PA router, let's go ahead and do show IP route. We should have a route 2.2.0 via this, but it looks like we're not able to ping. So we're not able to ping from the TACACS server, but if I ping from the Windows device, 192.168.1.2, I'm able to get replies. Let's go ahead and try it again. You can see it is working, but we're not able to get into that website. So I won't be able to configure TACACS for you guys for now. But that is fine. But you guys, hopefully you guys learn a lot. I configure ZBF, zone-based firewall, SNMP, version 3 IPsec for security, DHCP snooping, dynamic ARP inspection, TACACS, QNAT with the secure boot and secure image. We did not do any telnet or anything like that. FTTP, we didn't do it, but we did the www or HTTP protocols to be able to get into this server right here. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and if you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Also go ahead and follow me on Twitter at CCNA Daily Tips for more videos like this. So thank you guys for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next one, guys. Bye bye.